Hello everyone, this is Jag. In this video I'm going to cover how to set up automatic drip irrigation system from in-ground sprinklers that are already in the ground. So let's get started. Alright, it's mail time. Somebody sent me these two big packages. One of them seems to be like a wagon and the other one seems to be like maybe an umbrella or something. These are some pretty big wheels. Oh wow, this is a large wagon. Well, thanks to someone who sent me this, I can really use this in my gardening. This will come in really handy to carry my tools. So for this job, I got a 1/4-inch drip line that I'm going to be using. I got some trowels. So this is a kind of like a long trowel that I use, and this is a little shorter trowel with a longer, wider spade. So it makes digging easier. I'm going to be using some 1/2-inch piping that goes from the sprinkler to the drip line. And this is the attachment you can use to hook up your sprinkler directly to the 1/4-inch drip line. And this is the one you would use to hook up your sprinkler line to 1/2-inch drip line. So this hooks up to your sprinkler and this is to 1/2-inch drip line. I first dug out my existing sprinkler riser. My sprinkler head sits down pretty low and I want my drip line to be at the level of my raised bed. So I'm replacing this existing sprinkler riser with this longer 1/2-inch riser. Good thing about this riser is that it's totally customizable. You can cut it to any desired length. So the new riser goes into the underground PVC pipe. The riser is in and I can see that my raised bed height is just right about here and I want to cut my riser pipe just an inch above my raised bed. I'm using a PVC pipe cutter to cut my riser to a desired height. As you can see, the pipe now sits just an inch above the raised bed. Here's the 1/4-inch drip line adapter I'm using. It has filter to filter out any dirt and debris, and it has 2 outlets to hook up the 1/4-inch drip line. You can also buy an adapter with more outlets as well. I wrapped the threads of the riser with the Teflon plumber's tape. This helps to stop any leakage. Next, the adapter goes on top of the sprinkler riser. The outlet of these drip line adapters are movable, which also comes in very handy. I'll be installing the 1/4-inch drip line in my entire raised bed. I already have some plants planted which I've been hand watering, so installing the drip line is going to be a relief. Here's the 1/4-inch drip line I'm using, which has built-in emitters at every 12 inches. The maximum run to maintain pressure for this line is 33 feet. The second 1/4-inch drip line I'm using has built-in emitters at every 6 inches, and the maximum run for this line is 19 feet. I'm uncovering the outlets on the adapter and then inserting the 1/4-inch drip line to the adapter. Then I'm staking my drip line. I'm installing the drip line all around the plants in my entire raised bed, and then I'm cutting the end off and inserting the end back into the second outlet on the adapter. This way you get double the run. Instead of 19 feet, you can run a line up to 38 feet and maintain the pressure from both ends. Now I'm manually turning on my sprinkler to run a test, and the drip line is working really well. All the plants in my raised beds are getting water. You can also use the 1/2-inch tubing directly with the in-ground sprinklers, or hook up the 1/4-inch drip line with the 1/2-inch tubing as well. This way I can run 1/4-inch drip line to my raised bed even where I don't have any in-ground sprinklers. I'm using this hole puncher to punch holes in my 1/2-inch tubing, and then I'm inserting the 1/4-inch drip line adapter on 1/2-inch tubing. Next, I'm connecting the 1/4-inch drip line to the 1/2-inch tubing. I'm also connecting the other end of the 1/2-inch tubing back into the drip line just like earlier to maintain pressure. I then stake my 1/2-inch tubing. As you can see, the 1/4-inch drip line comes out of the 1/2-inch tubing, goes all around my raised bed, and then comes back into the 1/2-inch tubing. This way you can run twice the line as recommended. My riser is all set on this raised bed, and I've hooked up the 1/4-inch drip line to the 1/2-inch tubing, which will be supplying water to the 2 raised bed. I do not have in-ground sprinklers on my second raised bed, and that is the reason why I'm doing it this way. Now I'm going to connect the 1/2-inch tubing to my sprinkler riser. I'm using the 1/2-inch adapter to connect to the 1/2-inch tubing. Then I'm cutting the 1/2-inch tubing which I'll be using to connect to my 1/2-inch tubing run that I installed earlier on my raised beds. I'm using this 90-degree 1/2-inch PVC elbow joint to hook up the 1/2-inch adapter to the riser. The elbow joint goes in and then goes in the 1/2-inch adapter, which is secured tightly. Next, I'm using the 90-degree joint for half-inch tubing to make the L joint. You have to wiggle a joint into the half-inch tubing with some force. In case you're wondering what this is cornmeal that I put out to get rid of these ants. These ants farm aphids on the plants, which in turn kills the plants. I made a separate video on 10 natural ways to get rid of ants. Check it out if you're interested. Now I'm completing my L joint for my half-inch tubing. You can also punch holes in a half-inch tubing to install custom emitters at desired intervals. Or use a bubbler that output a little sprinkler to cover a larger area around the tubing. This is a very custom way to water your garden. You can adjust the water flow for each one of these bubblers. You can also use a half-inch drip line with built-in emitters as well. Since we went around installing quarter-inch tubing and also installing half-inch tubing that works with quarter-inch tubing, installing a half-inch tubing that already has built-in emitters will be no-brainer for you. Half-inch tubing allows 100 to few hundred feet of run depending on the spacing of the emitters. You do not have to plug in the other end back into the sprinkler on half-inch tubing either. However, quarter-inch tubing is much cheaper and does a great job on smaller raised beds. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you can use some of these techniques to water your garden, and I'll see you in another video.